Let's shift from politics and go over to crime. Page 3 of the Standard, we are told Pupil, 14, who hung herself after period shame at school has been buried. That story made headlines last week after a young girl got her first period. She was shamed by her female school teacher, and turns out due to that being distressed, she decided to end her life. We have another top story that is making headlines across board, that of the death of Top Cohen, who was discovered in an underground tank, or was it a septic tank, at his home in Kitusuru, Nairobi. And more crime is making headlines on page 3, where the body of a missing waitress was found naked in a farm. This is after her clothes were found at the gateway of her estate, and later on her husband and those who were searching for her found her gruesomely murdered in a farm. So looks like things are we're not doing well as a society. Don't you agree, Mr. Weda?
I think the society is very stressed because of the fast pace in which things happen, and then the level of ignorance. We perish because of lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, until very advanced in age in my own life, I didn't even know this period business, how it comes, how it works, and then blah, blah, blah. And even now, you must have muster courage for me to teach my daughter, who is 11 years old, that it is coming. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, and you consider me a cosmopolitan and metropolitan, urbanized human being.
Right.
So this kind of stresses, you'll find that this teacher was looking at it more as a teacher, more as a discipline. She did not see the world from the girl's perspective and how to defend. And that actually it is really embarrassing. I look at the girl and I can see where she was. I look at some children who even wet their beds. And they make certain decisions. They can't go to boarding school, they can't do all these things just because of things like that. So it is the stress in society, and as the stress goes in, more bad elements come in. People become gruesome. They want to put other people in septic tanks. When small things of money comes in, you don't just look and say, if I had 100 million, if let's say somebody like Cohen, from his wealth, if he gave you 100 million, you buy 3-4 apartments, it gives you enough rent. You can live very nice. You don't have to kill him.
Yeah.
You just have to go to God. And so the level of distress and the inclination to badness, the creator of Daktari here says that the human heart is inclined to evil. So somebody will look at Genesis, you'll see it in Genesis 6. And even God himself regretted creating you and me. And he wanted to finish and kill all of us. But then he found favor.
Yes.
But that favor, there are still these elements. We need to continue counseling each other, praying, and then also to tighten the things that deal with security, so that when people are arrested, when you kill a beautiful lady like this, a young girl, you talk to her rudely like that, or you put people in septic tank, the society deals with you firmly. In the kingdom, God would say, this one, kill this one. Kill this one, destroy this one, so that we do not degenerate. We have gone too far, and people have become cold-hearted.
Yeah.
You know, when you cut somebody into bits, Willie Kimani advocate was cut into bits. Now Cohen has been put in septic tank. Oh, this lady has been cut. The human heart has been cooled, and it's very sad.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. Mr. Gwande?
When I respond to this girl who is 14 years old and committed suicide, I really don't want to say that probably it's because of, what the teacher said that really made this child. From a psychology point of view, I don't think that that's really what made this child commit suicide.
But it might have been the trigger.
It might have been the trigger, but I think there could be more than what people are seeing. There are many girls out there that perhaps have been addressed in that manner, but did not commit suicide for that reason. And I really think, I don't blame people for really taking it so hard on this teacher. I don't blame them that much, but I really think that 1 in a million is a case where basically you cannot say that this is how girls have been treated, and they've been treated in an unfair way. I think there's a way how how we can address this one case and say, perhaps we needed to look at the background and we needed to look at psychological issues that this child could have been going through and stuff like that, and then address this matter as it is, but not to generalize to an extent that the girls are being mistreated in school the way it's come out there. But I really think it was a story state that this one thing could lead to a child committing suicide. And I really empathize with the situation. But I think we also needed to look at it beyond just that.
Yeah.
As into Top Coin's murder, it is...
I'd like us to save the whole subject of Top Coin because
Okay.
it makes the substance for the next discussion. But of course, in general crime, there's the other lady who was murdered in her right near her home.
I just think that a lot today is being put in the open because of social media, because of very responsive reporting of the newspaper. These things were happening before. It's just that they never got to where we are. I know that in Kakamega, for example, there's a young man who killed a girlfriend, put that girlfriend a few years back into a septic tank, and I don't think it really caught the attention of the media, and it just went like that. You know, the man finally died after a few months, but that was there. And so sometimes you realize that the personalities involved in this, if they're influential, if they're rich, if they have money, they're in politics, you know, it will be sort of, this is what is happening. But I really think, you know, these are sporadic cases, and in a society like us, you know, we say in our culture that in every market you'll find a madman. There must be some evil people that do not see any good in the society, and they want to hurt society in many ways they can. But I can tell you, what we want to see, in my view, is how does the DCI deal with these things? Right. This idea of we will never leave the stone unturned, whether it is a political matter like Chris Musando, and then it just goes like Juma, for example, and then it just goes and everybody forgets about it, encourages people to do this kind of things. I really think that, you know, if you go to developed countries, let me tell you, if somebody is murdered, they will find the murderer. It doesn't matter who he is, whether it was even politically instigated, whether it was government plan. In one day, that stone will not be left unturned. That murder will go to jail. And for that reason, I want to see a serious forensic investigators in this country, where the DCI will make sure that every murderer will come to book, and they'll go to jail. That will make people to start fearing. But if people think, like you look at Cohen's case, I don't want to go deeply into it, where he knows that you know, his life is in danger. He's writing to the DPP and he's saying, oh, your officers in Parklands are not doing very well. They're not taking this matter seriously. When people fear the cops that they need to go to report cases, then you have a problem in the society.
Absolutely. And Dr. Njaya?
Because I'm an educator, I talk about the structural problems.
Yes.
We have a problem as Kenya. The structures are not working. Our institutions are not working, and most of all, the economy is not working. We are not getting enough opportunities for people to progress, to be there, to create, and to be able to earn a living from whatever they do. So this is what is making people making us very tense and passive-aggressive and very destructive to each other, because we've become a dog-eat-dog society. It's not even a man-eat-dog or dog-eat-man. We are dogs eating each other because the system has reduced us to this. We don't have opportunities. And when we expect our leaders to talk about where we can get opportunities, they're busy giving us kieleweke, tanga, wait for God to choose the president in 2022, instead of addressing real issues. So the public, our state of mental health as a public is going down. We are stressed, we hate each other, and now we are taking this out on women because they are vulnerable. We are taking it out on women and children because they are the ones who are vulnerable, and we are only getting to talk about it when a white man is a victim. But this is what is happening to our society. It is crumbling, and we need a new economic system that allows everybody, no matter where they come from, no matter their education, to be able to have a chance to make it in life. But as long as it's only the very rich who get ahead, we're going to have this kind of hostility to people, even within the education system. And that's why you can see a teacher mocking a student when she's most vulnerable. We've lost our humanity, and we need to restructure Kenya in a way that respects our humanity.
I do agree with you in terms of what you and Mr. Agwanda said. In terms of prominence, you would get at least more uproar when something happens as opposed to somebody who's of a lesser stature in society. So ideally, how would you have had this teacher handle this particular 14-year-old?
I mean, teachers know the human. In fact, we are taught human development when we are training as teachers. So they should know. So if a child is caught up in that, comes to that time of her life, you encourage her and you give her, you help her do what she needs to do. But you don't mock her. And you don't stigmatize her. But even our education system, and I've always said this, our education system is very violent. So this is just a bit of what happens in the education system. It's a very humiliating system. And so sometimes teachers also lose it and just perpetuate what the system
is doing to them and projecting them onto some of the children that they're supposed to be safeguarding and guiding through life. Now, that brings a close to Press Review. And of course, if you want to know more, you need to be reading these papers because there's a lot that has been covered. But that winds up Press Review. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll have The Way It Is with Michael Gitonga. This is Morning Express.